Imagine walking through a forest so dense that sunlight barely reaches the ground, a place where the air feels heavy, the heat never fades, and every sound seems to hide an invisible danger. Each step demands almost superhuman effort. Each decision could be your last. And yet, for centuries, men pushed forward into this green hell believing that somewhere ahead there was a city made of pure gold. Not a metaphor, not an exaggerated legend, but real gold, in quantities so absurd they could change the fate of anyone who found it. This idea crossed generations, cost thousands of lives, and carried a name that still makes explorers' hearts race to this day: El Dorado. At the beginning, El Dorado was not a city, nor a lost kingdom. It was a man, an indigenous leader who lived in the mountains of present-day Colombia and took part in a sacred ritual described with astonishment by the first Europeans. According to these accounts, the leader covered his entire body with resin and gold dust, turning himself into a living statue that shimmered under the sun. In a solemn ceremony, he sailed to the center of a sacred lake and submerged himself into its cold waters, while tons of gold and precious stones were thrown to the bottom as offerings to the gods. For the local people, this was spiritual, a cycle of renewal and balance. For the Europeans, it was unimaginable wealth slipping through their fingers. Greed transformed a man into a city, and the city into a deadly obsession. When the Spanish heard these stories, something changed forever. They had already seen what the gold of the New World could do. The Inca Empire had fallen, and ships were crossing the ocean loaded with treasures that, in Europe, existed only in dreams. So an obsessive question began to spread. What if there was more? Over time, the story became distorted. The man became a kingdom, and the kingdom became a lost empire, with streets paved in gold and temples so bright they blinded the eyes. And the more exaggerated the legend became, the more men were willing to die for it. Expeditions began to enter the Amazon rainforest in terrifying numbers. Hundreds of armed men, starving, exhausted, and driven by gold fever. But the Amazon is not just a forest. It is a living organism that consumes intruders. Imagine the reality they faced. Malaria, yellow fever, snakes perfectly camouflaged among the leaves, tribes defending their land with poisoned arrows. Many explorers died of hunger, chewing on the leather of their own boots just to survive one more day inside that endless labyrinth of trees. One of the most famous names in this search was Gonzalo Pizarro. He led a massive expedition, only to return months later completely broken. No gold, no glory, only disturbing reports of wide roads and signs of an advanced civilization hidden deep within the jungle. And the mystery only grew with time. In 1925, the legendary Colonel Percy Fawcett, considered the greatest explorer of his era, entered the Brazilian jungle in search of what he called the City of Z. He carried secret maps and believed with absolute certainty that El Dorado was real. Before disappearing, Fawcett left a chilling warning: "If we do not return, do not come looking for us." He, his son, and a companion vanished without leaving a single trace. To this day, Fawcett's disappearance remains one of the greatest mysteries in archaeology. Was he consumed by the forest, or did he finally find something humanity was never meant to see? For centuries, historians dismissed all of this as fantasy, a myth born from greed and exaggeration. Science claimed that the Amazon was an empty green void, incapable of sustaining large civilizations. But in the 21st century, that certainty collapsed. With LiDAR technology, a laser radar capable of digitally removing vegetation, the shock was immediate. Beneath the trees, entire cities appeared. Hidden pyramids, kilometers of roads connecting forgotten empires. Where emptiness once existed, now stood a vast cemetery of civilizations. Scientists discovered something even more revealing: terra preta, an extremely fertile, human-made soil. Proof that millions of people once lived there, farming the land and building a complex world that vanished after European diseases arrived. And then comes the unavoidable question: if these massive civilizations existed and performed rituals involving gold, where did all that wealth go? Small objects began to surface: masks, ritual ornaments, symbols of power and belief. If tons of gold were offered to the gods for centuries, it is impossible that much of that treasure is not still there, hidden beneath ancient roots and deadly swamps. When the forest grows back, it erases almost everything. Roads become trails. Cities become hills. Perhaps the greatest mistake was always searching for a single shining city. Perhaps El Dorado was never one place at all, but an entire lost world, too rich to survive its own existence. Today, new expeditions continue, now guided by satellites and artificial intelligence. And the more we discover, the harder it becomes to say that El Dorado was only imagination. Somewhere in the Amazon, beneath meters of soil and centuries of silence, there may still be enough gold to prove that the legend was real. But now I want your honest opinion as an explorer. Do you believe these lost cities still guard physical treasures? Or was the true wealth the knowledge of the people who built them? Write "I believe" in the comments. It helps our channel Chronicles of Wealth continue uncovering these hidden truths. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next discovery. Until the next search.